Welcome back to the Pink Floyd Collectors YouTube channel. I thought I'd give a quick overview of the recently released by Mojo Pink Floyd Essentials. Fantastic cover. So I just wanted to show you what's inside, see if it's worth your money. There has been a bit of a spate of these kind of things recently. A dedicated magazine that kind of gives a timeline of various Pink Floyd events. Is this one worth joining? Let's have a look. It starts off, it just confirms that this is actually the second release from Mojo. So it's part 2, if you like, of their series of Deluxe special editions. It's something they've done with the Beatles, I think the Who and the Rolling Stones. A pretty good overview of contents. It does cover the full band's history, so it's not different timelines. It is literally from start to end, as it were. Quite a nice full page, opening up like the Metal album. And then pages 10 to pages 65, the studio albums. I quite like this. They actually set out some of the rarer single releases to the albums. I'm not going to go too much into the text. Obviously, purchase it if you really want to do that. But this is just more to give you a bit of a deep dive into what's exactly here. As you can see here with the Saucer Full of Secrets, again, a couple of the rarer singles, both from Holland. And again, some quite nice rarer photos. It's the same with all these things. It depends on where your knowledge marker is, whether this is going to be useful to you. But personally, I always like to reread it, even though you feel like you have read it before somewhere. It's always good to be reminded. So as you can see, it's just taking out each album in time. Again, showing singles. Quite a nice one there. Photo of the band. It's the Dark Side of the Moon. Blue Pyramid. From what I can gather, a lot of the text is pretty much rehashed. Even the Roger Waters guide through Dark Side of the Moon has featured previously in a magazine, which it does confirm. So yeah, as you can see, pretty well together. Both the singles, only ever these two from the Animals album, one from Brazil, one from France. And then the final cut featuring an actual single that didn't feature on it at the time, but it does on the re-release. Momentary Lapse of Reason, Division Bell, and then of course finally The Endless River. And then we get these solo albums, so page 68 to 91, and that's obviously going to start off with Syd Barrett, Madcap Laughs, and then Barrett. Again, pretty usual story. David Gilmour would come up next. It doesn't feature the body, but I guess strictly speaking, that's not really a solo album. It was a collaboration with Ron Geeson. And then Roger starts at Pros and Cons, Chaos, Amused to Death. Is this the life we really want? And then it does do a bit more of a deeper dive into some of the rarer ones. So you do get Ron Geeson and Roger Waters, Music from the Body. And that features also things like Fictitious Sports, which again could be argued whether it's truly a solo album. And then we've got compilations and rarities. Obviously Relics. Echoes the best of. So as you can see, this is very English centric in terms of release. And then the early years, 65 to 72 is just an overview of the box set, what was actually contained in there. Live soundtracks, live and books. So obviously the Moore film, Obscured by Clouds, Live at Pompeii. Now of course, is there anybody out there? So that's it. I've gone through this a couple of times. Like with all these things, tend to look at it, put it in a cover, but it is nicely presented. It is a nice touch-up job on the cover in terms of adding colour to what was quite a famous pin-up photo of the band. I think from 72 the photo stems from. But yeah, I think for £10 it's a useful purchase if you can find one locally to you.